The upcoming NFL season just a few months away, and players like Christian McCaffrey looking for a healthy season after being injured for some or most of last year. CMC says he's back to being 100%, dealing with various injuries from a high ankle sprain to an AC joint injury, a quad issue. Played only 3 games last season, has not played in a game since November 8th of 2020. Back at OTAs, he said, again, I'm 100%, I'm healthy and ready to roll. Prior to 2020, McCaffrey has been electric and a fantasy stud, rushing for almost 2,400 yards. Now the question becomes whether he can reach 2,500 in a 17-game regular season that we'll see in 2021. Let's bring in our senior NFL insider, Jason Canfora, with a make or break segment here. It's a thing that he's got on CBSSports.com. So I alluded to Christian McCaffrey. Jason, what do we think about his chances for 2,500?
Look, I think if he is healthy, if he clears every medical check, and this is a guy who, I don't want to say he's Superman, but he certainly has some real amazing twitch to him and some recovery to him, and from all accounts is raring to go. Once there's no more medical boundaries on him, I think the volume will be there, Tommy. I think they're going to understand that because of where that defense is right now, and that's still very much rebuilding, and Sam Darnold learning a new team, learning some new schemes, and frankly not really looking the part for any consistent lengthy period of time with the Jets, I think they'll run their offense through Christian McCaffrey. I think Matt Rule will say ball control is the way to go for us. Let's try to grind people down. And McCaffrey can star in the run game. He can star in the pass game. I just think it comes down to health. But with the 17 games and with this not being a team that, let's say, is going to run away with the division and then tell guys take 2 weeks off, before the playoffs, I don't think it's out of the question whatsoever that he does get to that 2,500-yard threshold.
All right, so even though he had myriad injuries last season, he's not injury-prone per se, what we've seen so far in his first few seasons in the NFL. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns, Jason. They're a trendy Super Bowl pick. People buy in Browns tickets. Yeah. William Hill right now, 16-1. Some of that has to do with Jadeveon Clowney and his arrival there, but what do we anticipate about his impact and what we think about Cleveland moving forward?
I think he's in the best position to succeed that he's been in a long time. Obviously, things in Houston were never good between him and Bill O'Brien, and we saw that play out with the Texans ultimately, eating $6 million of salary to move him to Seattle. He gets to Seattle, and people are expecting him to be the savior. There's not a whole lot of other outside pass rush options on that team. It was a sexy, splashy move made right before the season. And he had one of his better seasons, but he's not going to put up 15 sacks all by himself. And injuries were a concern. Tennessee, he gets there. There's no outside pass rush. It's a horrible defense. And then he ends up not being that available. But here, with what they do in Cleveland, with Myles Garrett on the other side, with the upgrades they've made to their secondary, look, no one can predict with any veracity how his knees and everything else are going to hold up. But I think this is a really strong situation for him to succeed. And I am buying it. And I think he can be a thing for them and someone who doesn't just sets the edge, but knocks some balls down, makes some tackles in the backfield, and really makes teams kind of pick their poison and how they're going to defend that front seven.
All right, let's end with this. Are you buying Carson Wentz and the Colts? The expectation maybe that he'll have a revival season like the guy he replaced in Phillip Rivers. Chances he can do that with Frank Reich?
There's certainly a chance. There's some comfort level here between those individuals you just mentioned from the work they did together in Philadelphia. I think it comes down to, can Carson Wentz stay within himself? Does Carson Wentz think he has to play hero ball and be the star every play? Or is he willing to be the point guard instead of the three-point guy? I think you could look at Cleveland a year ago, and that wasn't a player changing places, but it was a new regime and a new scheme that came into Cleveland, and they really kind of got Baker Mayfield to just keep it simple, stupid, and not do the extra stuff that gets you in trouble, being a double agent and turning the ball over. The Colts, the final 8 weeks of the season last year, ran the ball almost better than anybody in the league. Tennessee and Baltimore did it better than them, but nobody else. The offensive line is still good. I like Pittman Jr. as a breakout guy at wide receiver. They have some capable tight ends. Hilton is still there. It's a good defense. So I think that things are set up well for Carson Wentz. My concern is, will Carson Wentz be his own worst enemy?
Yeah, and that's it real quickly, right, Jason? Because he'll see that offensive line, which is better than what he had in Philly, so he won't have to have the heebie-jeebies and run around.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of the hits he took where they were bad, some of the hits that he took was because he thought he was better than he was and held the ball too long and just tried to make the spectacular play when it wasn't there. I believe in Frank Reich. I was surprised that Carson Wentz hit the depth that he hit. I don't know that we'll see MVP Carson Wentz there, but that's also not what they want. They went to the playoffs with Rivers last year. So I think the team will be okay. I don't think Wentz will be super special.
All right, Jason La Canfora breaking that down with the make or break segment. We can catch that also on CBSSports.com. Jason, thank you very much. Let's tally up the Pick Six podcast. Top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. Julio Jones omitted while youngsters dominate the list. That is the latest edition there. Download and follow host Will Brinson and the Super Friends.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.